So as we mentioned, before the Kanban got introduced into the software development, it was being used heavily in the manufacturing industry. The origin of Kanban happened in the Toyota production system, where Toyota used the plastic envelope cards, which they used to call as Kanban card, as a way of signaling the need to create or move inventory. So one of the basic objectives of Kanban in Toyota manufacturing system is to ensure that the wastage which comes due to the overproduction is avoided. So what you can see in the screen is a Kanban board which is there in one of the manufacturing industries. It's not from Toyota, I think it's from Yamaha, where they use the Kanban board to manage the flow of work. So let's try to understand a little bit more in details about how a Kanban basically helps you to eliminate the wastage which comes due to the overproduction. So one of the fundamental concepts which is being part of the Kanban in a Toyota production system was the pull system. This was slightly different compared to what used to exist in their competitors, which was more focused on a push-based system. So in a push-based system, work basically flows from the top to bottom, and the decision in terms of what needs to be done is taken at a higher level. So if you can see the animation here, it's basically represent the production line, and in the station 1, which is upstream, if there is a need for an inventory, that inventory needs to be decided more from a understanding of a management about how much is the need for the inventory there. So what usually happens is that you might basically produce a lot of inventory for the station 1, but at the same time downstream in station 4, you might not have the capacity to build enough cars which needs all the inventory that's getting introduced in station 1. So in a way you are introducing inventories into the system which are not going to be used. As a result of that, the organization would need to maintain those inventory, which is going to introduce cost into the system. So the question was how you can eliminate the wastage that is getting introduced due to the overproduction of inventories. So in Toyota, any manufacturing request used to get driven by an order that happens from a client. So when a client basically makes a request for manufacturing of a car, the station 4, which is the last stage in the pipeline, triggers the Kanban card for the station 3, which is the station which is just one level up in the pipeline. So station 3, based on the demand, it goes from the station 4, raises the Kanban card further to the station which is upstream. So where work used to get pushed from top to bottom in the earlier model, in a Toyota way, the work used to be get pulled from the station which is in downstream from the upstream stations. So how does this basically help you to avoid the overproduction? So I have another slide which try to kind of look at the same scenario but in a slightly different way. So here there is an upstream process which produces the product and which gets stored in a store. Usually there will be a limit and you try to maintain the minimum just-in-time inventory in your store. And once that limit is accomplished, the upstream process stops producing any more of the inventory. Now whenever there is a demand from the market driven by your customers which comes to your downstream process, it raises a Kanban card and pulls things from the store into the downstream process. So once this inventory moves into the downstream process, and based on the Kanban card that the upstream process received, upstream process makes a decision about how much more inventory it needs to produce. As a result of this, the number of inventory that's created and maintained in the store at any point of time is maintained at an optimal level. So this not only allows Toyota to maintain an inventory in the most effective way, it also helps Toyota to make changes drastically so that it can basically modify its assembly line in the way it can produce the maximum value to the customer. So if the customer wants brand X this time, and if there is a demand for a different brand, it doesn't require Toyota that much time to shift to the new assembly line without creating a lot of wastage in terms of the inventory which is not going to get used. So that's basically comes under the fundamental principles of lean principles.